and today we're going to be doing an organizational budget. And I will put this in the document section of this website so that you can have a look at it. I have my logo up here, so you can change that. Let's see if we can do that. Right click and then change picture and then pick your logo. So you can change that. The title of this document is organizational budget, and the year is going to be 2023. Now, this is something that your board is going to have to approve each year. But, just because it requires board approval doesn't mean it's a, difficult or scary thing to create. What we're going to do is start with income, and then we'll go on to expenses. So income, there may be different streams of income depending on your organization. Most of us are going to have grants. So I'm going to put in, because we're a baby nonprofit, I'm going to put $10,000 in grants. That's just a guess. That is an educated guess based on how much time I think I'm going to put into searching for grants, the size of the grant that I'm going to be searching for, and the success rate in general for baby nonprofits is not great. So $10,000 would be a good amount to forecast for the first year of grants. Fundraising, now you're going to put in anything from, asking your mom for money, or any t-shirts that you're going to sell, fundraising dinner, that sort of thing. So I'm going to lowball it at this point, and I'm going to say maybe I'm going to have $3,000 in fundraising. That is also a personal preference because I'm not really great at selling things. So, maybe if you've got, 50,000 followers, and you're a great salesperson, you might want to make that $12,000. Subscriptions. So if you have a fee for service or anything like that you might, or something that you're selling, even at a reduced cost, you might add in there. And then these other two, like, let's say if you're going to have like a 5K, so you could say 5K race, and then we think we're going to make $4,000 from the 5K race. That's a good ballpark for a race. To insert a line here, and I'm going to total these up, and I'm going to say total income, and this is going to be a formula equals sum parentheses, and then you click and drag to highlight all of the numbers that you want to add up, then end parentheses, and then enter. So that is what you think you're going to make. Okay, so and then I'm going to change these all to, I'm going to highlight these all and then change them to dollar signs. So because you're a nonprofit, you're not allowed to make money. So you're going to, if you think that you're going to bring in 26.5, then we have to expend that amount. So so they have to balance. When we come down here to net income expense, it should be 0. So for most nonprofits, salaries and benefits are, the lion's share of what you're doing, because a lot of them are service oriented. So a lot of what you're doing is paying people to provide a service. Okay, so this is 20 hours a week for $20 an hour for 20 hours a week for 45 weeks. Benefits, so you're not going to have benefits because you're part-time. So the total personnel is going to be 18. All right, so I'm going to do, and then I'm going to insert here, and we're going to do total expenses. And then I'm going to do this little trick, equals sum, open parentheses, And I'm going to start with total personnel and drag down here. Even though these cells are empty at the moment, I can still do this. And then when I populate those cells, it will eventually, it'll grow. And then here I'm going to put this equal to the total income, this cell minus this cell, the total expenses. So now here is our running total, so we can keep track of this for how we're doing. So rent and utilities, and then supplies, paper and pencil, anything that you might be using for your nonprofit. So I'm going to put that at per year. So we'll do $1,000 of supplies per year. Advertising, I'm not planning on spending a lot of money on advertising, but I will spend a little bit. So I do want a small budget. So we're going to say 300 on advertising. Software, personally, I spend a lot of money on software. So I'm going to put $1,000 on software. Publishing, so this goes back to whatever it is that your nonprofit is doing. I don't know if this is going to be relevant for you. It's not relevant for me, so I'm going to say 0. Equipment, so this is going to be computers, cameras, any sports equipment, if that's what you're doing. So this is probably going to be another big one. So we're going to put $2,000. That may be way too little for you to spend on equipment. So, we may want to put, equipment up at $5,000. If that's a big part of your nonprofit. But now you see we're getting close to net zero. So I'm going to actually bump this back down to $2,000. Contractors, so that's anybody that you might be hiring on Fiverr. It's also people that you might be asking to come in and speak to you. If you have an after-school program, maybe the zoo has a partnership that you're working with, and so you need to pay them a little bit. That is probably not going to be super cheap. So we're going to put $2,000. That won't get you very far with contractors, unfortunately, but that's a little bit of money there. Transportation is another thing that you need to think about. If you're delivering meals, that's going to be a big one for you. If you're internet-based, that transportation may not be something that, and we're making $1,150, but we can't do that. So let's see, so if you run into that situation, then you can come up here and, fiddle with these things. So so we're already spending quite a lot of money on salaries, so we're not going to add anything to that. Rent and utilities, that's more of a fixed cost, so it is what it is. Telephone and internet, but you can buy more supplies if that is something that furthers your program. So we're going to change that. And then advertising is sort of an administrative cost. So I'd leave that alone unless that's really important to your organization. So we did say that equipment might be important. And then I'll add some more money for contractors because that will help us further our mission. And now you can see the net income and expense is 0. So basically, you can just, go through this, ballpark it. Everybody does. And then you will need to bring it to your board to get their approval. And they may have suggestions about, we're not interested in paying for this, or, what do you think you're buying with these line items, and so on and so forth. So it's always good to have some, information to give them. For example, like, do we think we might be able to sell more subscriptions, or, maybe fundraising is something that they could help you with. So, you might be able to, they workshop, they might be able to workshop this with you. But this is just something to get you started. And thank you for watching.